Oh no, we've got that next. Okay, great. Okay, so the next page just summarizes the concept so far. All right, so the marginal costs rise, which means that the total cost curve gets steeper, or what you would say is the total cost curve is increasing at an increasing rate. Right? So that means it's getting steeper because the marginal cost per unit keeps getting higher and higher. So because the marginal costs, which are going to measure the slope of the total cost curve, those increase. And the reason why the marginal cost per unit increases is because of the declining productivity, right? The workers are having to share the capital, and as there's more workers all trying to share the same capital, they will become less productive because they have to take turns with the capital and they don't get to use it all the time. So marginal cost increases because the marginal product decreases or diminishes. All right, and so then the reason why the marginal product is diminishing is because they have that fixed input that they have to share. Okay, so for example, land or building or computer, vehicles, tractors, all those things that the workers would have to share. Okay, but then when you hire the workers, of course, you have to pay them, and then if they are less productive, then of course your per unit costs are going to be going up. Okay, so each unit costs more. Okay, and so then last thing here is just, again, emphasizing the relationship between the two, which is an inverse relationship. So because the marginal product is diminishing, then the marginal costs are rising, so they're going to go in opposite directions. Which then leads to the different shapes for the total product and total cost curves. So total product and total cost curves both go up, but the total product curve goes up at a decreasing rate, whereas the total cost curve goes up at an increasing rate. So this one gets flatter as quantity increases, and the total cost curve will get steeper as the quantity increases. All right. And actually, before we do the exercises, I want to do one other thing, and that is to just draw the 4 graphs that you guys have learned about so far in the chapter and just put them all together. So if you want to do this somewhere just to have a note of it, I think it's helpful to have all the graphs together. Okay, so at the beginning of the chapter, we did the product curves, which have quantity on the vertical axis and labor on the horizontal. And because of the fixed inputs, then there's diminishing marginal production for the workers as you hire more and more workers. So this, we'll put that one over here. So MPL goes down. So the extra amount of output that each additional worker helps you to produce gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So then for your total production curve, it means that that will increase at an decreasing rate. So TP. All right, so your total production will increase, but at a decreasing rate as you hire more and more workers. Okay, and so then the other two graphs are total cost and marginal cost, which then have dollars on the vertical and quantity on the horizontal. Okay, so marginal costs rise. I'll put that one over here. And I'll just put the formulas here too. So marginal cost is the extra cost when you hire another worker relative to the output that they provide. And up here, I'm going to put the formula for MPL, which is the extra output that you get when you hire one extra worker. And so again, we have the inverse relationship because delta Q is on the top here and on the bottom here. And so that's why these two curves will always then go in a different direction. Okay, and because the marginal cost goes up, each additional unit is costing you more and more than the last one, the total cost curve will increase at an increasing rate. All right, and so these curves are measuring the slopes of these curves. So this has a decreasing slope, and this is measuring the slope of this curve, so the slope is getting bigger, increases at an increasing rate. Okay. So I'll just make a note of that down here too. Okay, so MPL is slope of the total product curve, and marginal cost is the slope of the total cost curve. Good. All right, any questions? Good, okay. All right, so now we're working on exercise 2, which is about the pierogi food truck business. And we've got the costs. Jackie's costs are as follows. So he's got rent and insurance per day for the trucks. And there are 3 trucks, so this will be his fixed cost, so $300. And then wages and ingredients and supplies. So these will be the 2 variable costs here, $80 per worker and $3 per unit. Okay, so fill in the table. All right. Good, okay. All right, so here's the table. All right, now the first column is fixed cost, which is $300, and so that we put in all the spaces, because even if there's 0 output, then the trucks still need to be paid for. And as output increases, it will not change that fixed cost. All right. Now the variable cost is for the wages and for the ingredients. Now I've got part of this one filled in already for you, but for the variable cost, I'll just put equals. What you would do is you would multiply the wage of 80 times L, right? So that would be your wage cost, the 80 times the number of workers, plus $3 times the number of units, because it's $3 per unit for the ingredients, so plus 3 times Q. Okay, so for example, for the first one here, one worker will cost 80 plus 100 units times $3 per unit is 300. So you have $80 plus $300 for the for the ingredients. So that's a total of 380. Okay, and then the next one would be two times $80 wage plus 3 times 185, and that will give you 715. Okay, and so on. So let's just fill in the 3 last ones here. All right, so this is for 6 workers. Okay, so 6 workers times 80. Plus, the output is $3.75 times $3 per unit for the ingredients. Okay, so that will be 1605. All right, next one is 7 workers, so 7 times 80, plus output is 385. And then the last one, 8 workers, and output is the same. Okay, next column, we're just adding the 2 costs together. Right, so I've got that partly filled in, so we'll just continue. So we're adding the 300 plus the variable. Okay, and then the last column, what we're doing is we're taking the change in the total cost. So say from here to here, the change is 380. And then we have to divide by the change in the quantity, which is the marginal product. So this first worker increased output by 100. So from here to here, we would take the difference 380 divided by 100, which is 3.8. And then we would take the difference in total cost divided by 85, the increase in output, and so on. Okay, so from here to here, so we'll do this next one, from here to here. Okay, so we need the change in cost. So 1550 minus 1305, so that's an increase in costs of 245. And then we divide by the increase in output from here to here, which is 55. All right. Okay, next one from 1550 to 1750. Okay, that one's easy. That one's 200 for a change in cost. This 5th worker increases output by 40. Okay, that one's easy. So that's a marginal cost of 5. Next one, 1750 to 1905. An increase in cost of 155, and they provide 25 extra units of output. Okay, the 7th worker increases output by, increases cost by 110, and they only provide 10 extra units of output, so that's 11. And then the last one we can't actually do because the cost goes up, but the output doesn't, right? And for marginal cost, you're calculating the extra cost for extra units of output, but there aren't any units of output, so we just stop there. Good. Okay. Any questions?